G'day trainers and welcome back. Today we are going to be crafting Pokemon teams for the Yonko in One Piece. One Piece? We don't cover One Piece on this channel. Well, maybe we should. But today we're going to be doing a little bit of a crossover event. It is going to be a bigger crossover, a bigger collaboration than Avengers Endgame. Well, maybe not Avengers Endgame, but we're going to be crafting Pokemon teams for the Yonko in One Piece. If you don't know, the Yonko it's essentially the four emperors. Yonko means four emperors in Japanese, and they are the four strongest pirates in the One Piece world. Now, as you can actually see, there is more than four pirates there, and that's because in the total run of One Piece, there have been 7 official Yonko. Now, I am especially excited on this because I'm going to be comparing it to my personal favorite YouTuber's video. As you can see, I've got one here, and it's just Yonko Pokemon teams. This was a video done by Tekking101. Again, in my opinion, the best One Piece YouTuber. He is similar to me. He likes Pokemon. He loves One Piece. I probably have a bit more Pokemon knowledge than Tekking101. He definitely has a lot more One Piece knowledge than I do, though. And I really want to compare the teams he's created for the Yonko and just see how we go. Maybe, if this video takes off and I can convince you all, maybe we'll just add him on Twitter. Maybe we can get the teams I've created and the teams he's created, and maybe we can do a little collaborative stream. We can verse our teams. We can verse our Yonko teams and see how they go. Now, I guess a bit of a disclaimer. Tekking does say he is not a competitive player, so he hasn't put competitive thought. He's gone into typings, but that's about it. And you know me, anyone that's been here for a while knows I'm not overly competitive. I've had a few competitive teams. We've done the SGL challenge, but it's probably slightly more knowledgeable in this instance. So, how do we do this? We're just going to click into Tekking's video. We're going to find out his teams, and we're going to compare. We're going to see why he has picked who he has. You'll see he picks a theme for each of the Yonko, which makes sense. For example, we're going to be starting with Shanks. He has gone with red Pokemon. Makes sense. Shanks is red hair Shanks. He's the captain of the red hair crew. And I was going to try to use the same logic he did, but there were just some Pokemon that I feel fit these characters that didn't quite fit into that theme. So I've also tried to keep somewhat of a theme, and we'll just see how we go. So let's kick it off first off and see who Tekking101 has picked for Shanks. Alright, so here is the 6-man team that Tekking has come up with for Shanks. I'm just going to go through the 6, and then we'll see who we've come up with to just really see how it goes. But Tekking has gone with a Gyarados, but not just any Gyarados, the shiny Gyarados. But not just any shiny Gyarados. He has picked specifically the shiny Gyarados from the Lake of Rage. Did you know though, fun fact, and this has probably been, it's probably not canon anymore, but the shiny Gyarados, red Gyarados, isn't actually a shiny Pokemon. Did you know that? What happened is the Magikarp were being forced to evolve by Team Rocket at the Lake of Rage, and the act in forcing the Pokemon to evolve caused that sort of mutation. So the red Gyarados didn't evolve from a golden Magikarp at all. Red Gyarados, it was pure luck. And now it's one of the most iconic Pokemon of all time. But he specifically said Lake of Rage Gyarados with the ability to Mega Evolve if it needs to. He has gone Scizor, again, with the ability to Mega Evolve. Camerupt with Mega Evolution. He's got a Centiskorch, a Dhelmise. Now, I'm not 100% sure if the Dhelmise there, if it's actually shiny red, because in his video, he does show a Dynamaxing Dhelmise, which of course is red, but you know, makes sense. He's a pirate. He's got an anchor. And he's going to finish up all of his teams because these are the Yonko. This is like the Elite Four. These are Elite Four level pirates. And that means they get a legendary Pokemon at the end. And he has picked Yveltal to be Shanks' legendary. How does that stack up against mine though? Let's take a look. So my first pick for Shanks is probably going to seem a little, you know, out of left field, if that's the term. We don't have baseball here in Australia, so we didn't have left field. But I have gone with Berserker. Now, for those of you who don't know, Berserker is the evolved form of Galarian Meowth. And I'm sure you're wondering why. He's not red, he's not using a sword. why? Pokeboy, why have you picked Berserker? And that is because Berserker is known as the Viking Pokemon. And I think that just fits Shanks really, really well. If you look at Shanks' ship, the Red Force, it's very clearly Viking inspired. He's got the dragon on the front, and it really does just look like a Viking ship. So I think having the Viking Pokemon as his lead Pokemon is just really, really cool. Coming in at number 2 though, we have got King Gambit, a Generation 9 Pokemon, and I actually love King Gambit. He is the Supreme Overlord Pokemon. Here is the Overlord. Supreme. He's like a shogun samurai, and he is just really, really cool. And he's red, so that kind of works as well. I've also tried to keep some red, except for Berserker, and really the second last Pokemon we're going to pick, we have kept that red theme as well. But we've got King Gambit. He's a swordsman, samurai, shogun, which really fits with Shanks being a swordsman as well. And honestly, probably the fact that Shanks was the greatest swordsman on the planet before losing his arm and losing that title to Mihawk. So I think that fits. My number 3 is actually the same as Tekking's number 2, and I think Scizor is just a really, really good fit. Whether that's Mega Evolved or not, I think it fits well. Honestly, just aesthetically. He's quick, Shanks is gonna be quick. He cuts things, Shanks cuts things, and he's red, Shanks has red hair, so it all works. Number 4, though, is a Haxorus. Yeah, now you might be thinking, why Haxorus? Haxorus is yellow. However, we're not using any old Haxorus. We are using shiny Haxorus. Shiny Haxorus is all grey and black, except for the axe blades coming out of its mouth. Those are blood red, and that fits really well. You can see in both the images here of both Tekking and myself, Shanks does favor the black coat, so he's got the black body, he's got the red hair. I think thematically and just aesthetically, it's a really, really good pick. Number 5, though, is the last Pokemon that I can't really make an argument for being red, and that's actually also going to be a recurring Pokemon. I'm going to try to not have recurring Pokemon throughout this video, but if it does go on to become a series, we will have them. And that's because a lot of pirates in the One Piece world use swords. So we have got Aegislash. Aegislash is fast, he's strong, he's a damn sword. Not only that, Aegislash is also a shield. Now, Shanks doesn't use a shield. However, I'm going that Shanks is the shield. Shanks is the shield to his crew. We've recently seen that Shanks has got a lot of underlings and a lot of underling pirate crews of weaklings, like really, really weak pirates, and he's kind of the shield that protects them and allows them to grow and try to better themselves. And I just think that really, really works. The legendary, though. So, Tekking has gone Yveltal, the god of the underworld. It's cool. Thematically, it looks great. I have gone with another sword, and that's going to be Zacian. That's right, the Generation 8 doggo with a sword in its mouth. The reason I've gone for that is for 2 reasons. 1, sword. Shanks cuts things, he uses a sword, that fits. But the part that I sort of expanded on or wanted to note is Zacian is also a big dog. Dogs are known for their loyalty, and Shanks to me seems like probably one of the most loyal pirates that you would ever meet. Alongside Luffy, they have that in common, but Shanks has got that dog-like loyalty. So I think having Zacian works really, really well. All right, so let me know, whose team do you think would win in a battle? Tekking101 with Gyarados, Scizor, Camerupt, Center Scorch, Delmise, and Yveltal? Or Pokeboy with Berserker, King Gambit, Scizor, Haxorus, Aegislash, and Zacian? Let me know down below. Moving on to the next ones, and that is going to be the king of the beast, Kaido. Now for me, Kaido is actually the absolute easiest one to come up with, and that makes sense. Kaido is all about having Zoans on his crew. He's all about having ancients, dinosaurs, just prehistorical creatures, and a lot of Pokemon are based on those same things. So Kaido was the absolute easiest. You can see Tekking has given him a Charizard with the ability to either Mega Evolve into Mega Charizard Y or Mega Charizard X. He's giving him a Dragalge or Dragalge. Honestly, I'm never 100% sure how to pronounce it, but that's a poison dragon. We've also got Dracozolt, which is the electric dragon, and Mega Aggron, or Aggron with the ability to Mega Evolve if it had to. And the reason Tekking said he picked that is because he's got a lot of dragons on the team, and fairy types are going to come in and sweep. One Tinkaton is going to sweep through Kaido's team, and that's where Mega Aggron steps in. That steel typing is going to put a beat down on those fairies that come through. The second last Pokemon that Tekking picked was a Galarian Weezing, and I never would have thought of this, but I think, again, thematically, I know I'm using that word a lot, but thematically it makes a lot of sense. Orochi and Kaido destroyed Wano. Absolutely destroyed it, turned into a weapons manufacturing plant, and really just polluted the entire country. So having a Pokemon that looks like it is not just a top hat, which, you know, Kaido's a bit fancy, but it looks like it's billowing smoke and smog and just pollution. So that really, really fits. And the final, the legendary, is going to be Rayquaza with the ability to Mega Evolve. Again, I'm not sure if Tekking101 knows, I'm sure he does, but you can only Mega Evolve one Pokemon per battle. So he would need to pick, but of course this gives him some decent coverage, I would say. However, who have I picked? I like Rayquaza, by the way. I think Rayquaza fits Kaido. As you can see, Kaido is a dragon, so it works really, really well. I went for a slightly different approach. I've got it started off with Mamoswine. So first of all, we might already be beating out Tekking's team because Mamoswine is an ice type, which is super effective against dragons. We may not do well against his Charizard though. However, we've started off with Mamoswine, and anyone that knows anything about the Beast Pirates would probably get the theme I'm going to go with. So Jack, one of the All-Stars, it was originally announced he was Kaido's right-hand man, but no, he's like Kaido's fourth or fifth right-hand man. But he has the ability to turn into a woolly mammoth. I don't need to say any more. Mamoswine is Kaido's first Pokemon for me. Second is going to be Amoris, the fossil-type Pokemon, and that is, again, because of Queen, one of the All-Stars, has the ability to turn into a Brachiosaurus. Again, there's not a lot of explanation that's required. Number 3 is going to be Aerodactyl. Again, you know where I'm going with this. Aerodactyl, because of King, the Lunarian, he has the ability to turn into a Pteranodon, and honestly, Aerodactyl is the closest you get to a Pteranodon in the Pokemon world, so that fits really, really well. Now, the one that I am so unbelievably surprised that Tekking didn't put on Kaido's team, Gyarados. Just a Gyarados. Like, Kaido is literally a Gyarados. Kaido's fruit is called the Ua Ua no Mi Model Azure Dragon, or Mythical Model Azure Dragon, and it's the fish fruit. The story is it's the carp that goes up the waterfall and eventually evolves or transforms into a giant dragon. That is the mythology behind Kaido's fruit. That is the mythology behind Magikarp and Gyarados. And it's just really, really fitting. I was very surprised that he didn't, and he gave Shanks the red Gyarados. I get it, he didn't want to double up either, but that's it. I've got Gyarados as number 4, sorry. Number 5. I've got a Pokemon similar to Dracozolt, and that's Dracovish. If you don't know who Dracovish is, it was one of Ash's Pokemon when he became a world champion at the Masters 8. But the reason I've picked Dracovish is the Galarian fossils. They were all split in half, and they could be mix and matched and sort of reformed. And that kind of, to me, feels just like what Kaido's doing with all of the Smile Devil fruits. He's got all of these ancient Zoans on his crew. So again, thematically, I think it fits really, really well. And I don't think, to anyone's surprise, I've got the exact same legendary that Tekking did with Rayquaza. He can Mega Evolve if he wants. I didn't really put in any Mega Evolutions, but the ability would be there. And again, he's just a Sky Dragon. Kaido is a Sky Dragon. It just fits. Cool. So we had Tekking101 with Charizard, Dragalge, Dracozolt, Aggron, Galarian Weezing and Rayquaza, Pokeboy with Mamoswine, Amoris, Aerodactyl, Gyarados, Dracovish, and Rayquaza. Let me know who would win down below. Moving on to the third member of the Yonko, and currently, kind of like Kaido, no longer a Yonko anymore, Big Mom. Tekking and I had 2 of the same Pokemon here, and actually Big Mom for me was one of the harder ones to figure out. Now, you'd think she'd kind of be the easiest because she's all about food, she's a big mom, but I didn't want to go just with food. You can see Tekking hasn't gone just with food. He's brought in, say, Rotom, which is a bit reminiscent of her devil fruit, the Soul fruit, or the Soul no Mi. And I wanted to go a slightly different route. I've gone for more of a familial feel because she's a big mom. She's mom. She's got a lot of kids. She's got like 70 children. So that's the and goddamn, look at young big mom. Whew. Don't say you wouldn't. Don't say you. Big Mom was fine when she was younger. It wasn't until she hit like her 50s that, well, that's kind of the age that every character in One Piece goes downhill. It's about 50, 55. Goddamn. Cool. So, Tekking has gone Snorlax. First of all, bit rude, but you know what? I also went Snorlax. So, again, not just because of Big Mom, but Snorlax is an absolute powerhouse, just like Big Mom. Big Mom could punch the ground and split a continent. There is no doubt in my mind she could do it. Snorlax might not have that much power, but he's a pretty powerful boy. Next up, Tekking has gone Appleton or Flapple. But I think when he's gone it, he was under the impression that Appleton could turn into Flapple. If not, I apologize. But no, Applin will either evolve into a Flapple or Appleton. And it seems he's gone the big apple pie Pokemon. Number 3 was Alcremie. However, he has also noted that he wants Alcremie's Gigantamax form, because Alcremie Gigantamaxes into a giant wedding cake, which was pretty much half the story of Whole Cake Island. For starters, Whole Cake Island. But the last part of it was, while Big Mom was on her hunger pangs, Sanji, Pudding, and I think it was Chiffon were all trying to recreate a big wedding cake to settle her down. Number 4, he's gone Rotom Heat Mode. And again, Rotom just kind of makes sense. It can go into inanimate objects and bring them to life, just like Big Mom's Soul Fruit. Number 5, she's gone with Poltegeist. And the final one, the legendary, the Continent Puller, Regigigas. Maybe because of the pure power, I'm not sure. I wouldn't have gone Regigigas. I think Tekking even says he doesn't really like Regigigas. I don't think anybody likes Regigigas, especially with slow start. Come on, Pokemon. But after Snorlax, so my first pick was Snorlax, I agree. I have gone a Big Mom in her own right in Pokemon, and I've gone Nidoqueen. Yeah, I think Nidoqueen's a really good choice for Big Mom. She's always looking out for her family when she's not killing them during her hunger pangs. I don't think she ever hurt them when she wasn't in sort of her blackout rage mode. Not justifying blackout rage or murdering your family. Yeah, just had to say that, I guess. Number 3, though, Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan is, again, a big old mama, and I think it works well. Kangaskhan's got a lot of brute power, a lot of brute force, so it fits Big Mom again. Number 4 for me, though, I've gone Altaria. And maybe you're wondering, why Altaria? What about a flying cloud dragon fits that with Big Mom? And simple. Prometheus. The cloud that ran away and joined Nami? Well, sort of ran away and then was kicked out and has now just joined Nami. Yeah, she rides around on a big cloud like Prometheus. I think her new one is called Hera. I think on top of Onigashima, she created a new one, a girlfriend for Zeus. No. Oh no, hold on. For Zeus. It was for Zeus. Prometheus was the sun. Yeah, so we've got Altaria because she rides around on Zeus. Next up, I had a very similar I had the exact same Pokemon that Tekking did for number 3. And my number 5 is Alcremie with its Gigantamax form. Again, wedding cake. I already mentioned it when I discussed Tekking's choice. It's very clear. It's obvious. But my legendary isn't necessarily a legendary. It's an Ultra Beast. And I think it fits Big Mom better than any other Pokemon. And that is the Ultra Beast, Guzzlord. Yeah, that guy. Oh, that guy. Guzzlord just sort of wants to eat and suck in absolutely everything. And to me, that just makes perfect sense. So, Tekking's team of Snorlax, Appleton, Alcremie, Rotom Hate, Poltegeist, and Regigigas. First Pokeboys team of Nidoqueen, Snorlax, Kangaskhan, Altaria, Alcremie, Gigantamax, and Guzzlord. Who would win? Let me know. We're now going to move on to going from one Big Mom to one Big Daddy. Maybe Big Papa. Papa Bear. Papa Bear works better. We're going to Whitebeard. Okay, so you can see Tekking has gone for kind of like a normal type beatdown, just raw power, and that's kind of who he wanted in his team. He's gone with Heracross with the ability to Mega Evolve. I love me a Heracross. I used one in my very first ever Nuzlocke. I did a Monolock fighting types in Pokemon Shield, never finished it. And Heracross was a staple of that team. He has got Mamoswine. It's the tusks. The tusks look like Whitebeard's mustache. He's got Annihilape. Now, I love Annihilape, but the reason he did it is because he's a fighting ghost and Whitebeard is dead. Yeah, that's a bit sad. He's also got Slacking Stoutland. Stoutland's got a big old mustache. And for the legendary, he has gone Zygarde complete form. Yeah, look, I'm not gonna say mine's better because mine I think is a very cliche, obvious legendary that I've gone for, that I have gone for Whitebeard. But I went opening Pokemon, the Gen 9 phenomenon, Clodsire. That's right, the one that evolves from the Paldean variant of a Wooper. Now, again, it's just a ground type, ground poison. It's a ground type that can use Earthquake, and Earthquake is the recurring theme. Obviously, Whitebeard has the Gura no Mi. Had the Gura no Mi. And that was the theme I went with. I wanted to go with Earthquake Pokemon. There was one other that can also use it, but there's sort of another theme, and that's Papa Bear. Papa Bear theme. Number 2, though, and I'm glad that is the image that Tekking used, because my second is Alolan Dugtrio. And again, Earthquake, ground type, but look at Whitebeard's hair. Look at Alolan Dugtrio's hair. It's a perfect match. It is a match made in heaven, and I absolutely love it. Number 3, to complement Big Mom with Nidoqueen, we have gone Nidoking, because Whitebeard was the next closest man to becoming king of the pirates. Don't need to explain it. He was a big, powerful boy. That's it. Number 4 is Wailord, the first water type on... Is it the first water type on my entire... No, I had Gyarados. First water type for Whitebeard, and that's just purely because of Whitebeard's flagship, the Moby Dick. It looked like a whale. Not just that, when he rocked up at Marineford with his 2 other ships, they were coated and rose up out of the ocean. Now, coating in the One Piece world is a process where you coat your ship in kind of like a waterproof bubble, kind of, so you can go underwater. It's essentially so you can get down to Fishman Island and then back up the other side in the New World. So we went Wailord. Number 5 was the Hisuian Pokemon, the brand new evolution from the Hisui region, Ursaluna, the evolved form of Ursaring, only able to evolve if you use a peat block at midnight in the Crimson Myrolands. And that's purely that. That's his Papa Bear. He's a big, powerful boy, and that's it. He's Papa Bear. Papa Bear Whitebeard. Number the 6th, the legendary. Instead of Zygarde complete form, I have gone probably the most basic white boy answer you could get, and I have gone Groudon. Ground, land, incarnate, and honestly, that's just it. There's no nuance there. Whitebeard was a very brute force type of response for me, and I think it shows. So let me know, who do you think would win? Heracross, Mamoswine, Annihilape, Slacking, Stoutland, and Zygarde for Tekking versus Clodsire, Alolan Dugtrio, Nidoking, Wailord, Ursaluna, and Groudon for Pokeboy. Or, again, we don't need to think. Tekking, hit me up, buddy. Let's jump on Pokemon Showdown. Let's have a run at it. I would love that. Okay, moving on to kind of the next counterpart, the polar opposite of not just Whitebeard, but the polar opposite of Luffy, Blackbeard, Marshall D. Teach. Zehahaha. Okay, so Tekking and I do have a couple of repeats. We've got 2 repeats, and I think we know what it is. My final legend, no. My 5th Pokemon is the same. I'm not even going to tell you. We're going to wait till we get there. Okay. Tekking has gone Houndoom with the ability to Mega Evolve, a Zoroark, a Gengar with the ability to Mega Evolve. Is that Meg? Yeah, that's Mega. I wasn't sure that was G-Max or not. We've got Sharpedo with the ability to Mega Evolve, Aerodactyl with the ability to Mega Evolve, and Darkrai. Look, honestly, I think we know what are going to be the 2 overlapping Pokemon, but let's start off number 1, and that's, I agree, it's Houndoom. Houndoom is just a big old devil dog. Blackbeard is kind of like a big old devil dog. There's not much else there to go with. It's also kind of, I actually had a very similar rationale to Tekking with Houndoom, and it's kind of that sort of darkness fire. So it's a dark fire type, obviously. Blackbeard really rose to prominence after handing in Ace, who had the Meramera no Mi, fire, darkness, Houndoom. Cool. Number 2, we have 3 of the same Pokemon, not 2. We've got 3. Number 2 for myself is in fact Zoroark as well. 2 reasons. He's just the darkness Pokemon. He's a dark type, but I've got 2 rationales for the illusion aspect. He's the illusion Pokemon. He's a dark type. He's the illusion. And for 2 reasons. 1, Katarina Devon on his team has got the mythical Kitsune fruit, which allows her to perfectly disguise herself as anyone else. So disguising. But I think it also, and I think Tekking had something very similar, it also lends to the fact that he had hidden himself away on Whitebeard's ship under Thatch. No. He was in the 2nd division. Hid himself away on Whitebeard's crew while looking for the Yami Yami no Mi, and eventually killed Thatch once he had located the fruit. So that's why I'd gone with Zoroark. Number 3 for myself, though, I have gone Hydreigon. Yeah, the three-headed dark type dragon. And again, I think that's very just obvious, but there's a theory that Blackbeard has got multiple personalities or multiple beings living within himself. He's got 3 heads on his Jolly Roger. And that, again, not a lot of nuance. I think that one's just very, very clear. Number 4 for myself, though, we have got Tyranitar. How could you not have Tyranitar? Whether it's Mega Evolved or not, we have got the dark pseudo-legendary Pokemon, the follow-up to my favorite Pokemon, Dragonite. And I think that just really, really fits. He's got a lot of brute force. He has got the darkness ability. The darkness type. And it just really, really fits, I think. I think he would definitely have something like a Tyranitar just sort of stamping around. If you remember in the Pokemon movie, Pokemon Forever, the Celebi movie, there was that Pokemon smuggler or the Pokemon poacher who had a dark Tyranitar. That was kind of like Blackbeard, just a Niwa boy. Number 5. I had Darkrai as my number 5. And the reason I've got Darkrai as number 5 and not number 6 is because Darkrai isn't a legendary Pokemon. Darkrai is a mythical Pokemon. But even if it was legendary, I would have got around it because Blackbeard's the only person that we know of that's got more than 1 Devil Fruit, so why not have more than 1 legendary Pokemon? So he's got a mythical and a legendary. So, Darkrai, the darkness Pokemon. Again, not nuanced, it's obvious. But his final one was a Gen 7 Pokemon I've picked, and that is Necrozma. That man is just like darkness incarnate. He is pure black. He can change forms. Also, if depending on what happens, which again, kind of like Blackbeard, he can change himself up by taking in new devil fruits. We're not quite sure how that works yet. Maybe, or maybe I just made a fool of myself. But that was Blackbeard. So who do you think would win? Tekking's Blackbeard team with Houndoom, Zoroark, Gengar, Sharpedo, Aerodactyl, and Darkrai, or Pokeboy's team with Houndoom, Hydreigon, Tyranitar, Zoroark, Darkrai, and Necrozma. Again, let me know down below. Moving on to the last 2 members of the Yonko, and the 2 newest members of the Yonko, we have got Monkey D. Luffy. So Luffy's was actually a bit harder for me to come up with because I didn't want to just do nothing but monkeys on the team because that's the obvious choice. But Tekking has got Infernape, Medicham, Ambipom, Pawmot, Rillaboom, and Solgaleo. And I'll let you know, we have got 4 matching Pokemon. Maybe this might be the one I've got most in common with. But number 1, I have got starting off as Ditto. Yeah, why Ditto? It's not like Luffy he kind of copies moves. Not as bad as Goku, but he gets inspired by other people and copies their techniques and their moves. But Ditto is more for the aesthetic thematics of everything. Ditto's very freeform, very rubber-like, very able to freely mold itself. Very similar to Luffy. Spoiler alert, very similar to Luffy once he goes into Gear 5th and has awakened his Devil Fruit. Number 2 for me is going to be Pyroar, the king of the jungle. That really fits for 2 reasons. One being when he was training, oh my god, I think it was Ruskina during the 2-year time skip with Rayleigh. He eventually just sort of out-alphaed the king of the jungle. Yeah. Not only that though, the figurehead, the Master of the Thousand Sunny, is a lion. It fits. Number 3 for me is the same as his first, and that's just Infernape. He's a fire monkey. He's a fire fighting type. The fire really works well with his Red Hawk and Red Rock abilities that he uses. Again, there's not a lot of nuance for that one. Number 4 is Ambipom. He's just happy. Luffy is, don't get me wrong, Luffy has had his mad moments before. He has gotten peed off, but he is usually pretty happy-go-lucky, and that just reminds me of an Ambipom and an Apom, really. But I didn't want non-evolved Pokemon, so Ambipom for Luffy. Number 5 is the same as Tekking's number 5, and that's just going to be Rillaboom. Personally, again, monkey typing, but, not monkey type, monkey-like Pokemon, but when Luffy goes Gear 5 and we're talking about like Sun God Nika, then you've got things like the Drums of Liberation, the sound of the drums, and Rillaboom is a big old drumming monkey, especially when he Gigantamaxes. He's got the big drum set, so I think that one really works. And the legendary, I quite wasn't sure who I was going to use, but I used the same. Literally the Sun God Pokemon, Solgaleo from Generation 7. Again, the figurehead and mast of the Thousand Sunny is a lion. He's literally the sun Pokemon. He's like a sun god. It just fits. That, again, nothing crazy. So let me know who's going to win. Tekking's Infernape, Medicham, Ambipom, Pawmot, Rillaboom, and Solgaleo, or Pokeboy's Ditto, Pyroar, Infernape, Ambipom, Rillaboom, and Solgaleo. I think this might be one of the ones I'm definitely going to lose. Ditto is not going to help me out a lot here. Moving on to the most powerful member of the Yonko, Buggy D Clown. So right off the bat, you can see Tekking has gone Galarian, Mr. Mime, a Copperajah, Brioni, and a Alolan Marowak, an Oricorio, and Arceus. Honestly, Arceus doesn't even surprise me because Buggy just lucks into absolutely everything. It won't surprise me if he actually gets to the One Piece before Luffy. It is absolutely ridiculous. But how does it fare against mine? I started with the evolved form of Galarian Mr. Mime, Mr. Rhyme. Again, I wanted fully evolved Pokemon. And again, we've sort of got that clown circus feel going. So I've gone Mr. Rhyme. Number 2, though, just Mr. Mime. Why not? Let's have Mr. Mime and Mr. Rhyme. Those together are going to do a lot of psychic damage. And psychic, psychological, they've got nothing to do with each other. They just sound similar. That's all Buggy does, man. Number 3, though, is Pokemon number 1000. And that also attests to just the pure luck and always failing upwards of Buggy. And that's Goldango, Mr. String Cheese himself. Just a really, really cool Pokemon. And really just goes to the luck of Buggy. Number 4. Number 4 is actually the evolved form of Brioni, and that's going to be Primarina. Again, it's like a performing seal. I really don't have anything else to say. It fits thematically. It's blue, just like Buggy's hair. It works. It works. Number 5 is, this is the other one where I've got a legendary and a mythical, but I've got Hooper or Hooper Unbound, depending on which one you want. But Hooper just looks like a Pokemon that Buggy would have. He lucked into getting it, and really that's kind of just it. He has Hooper, hoop tricks, jumping through hoops, circus theme. That's it. And he's a mythical Pokemon. But finally, I didn't go Arceus. I should have, because that's hilarious. I have gone with my second Ultra Beast of the video, and that is Blacephalon. Blacephalon is a very uncomfortable to look at Pokemon or Ultra Beast, and it just makes me feel weird all the time. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. Kind of like the movie Joker. Made me feel really, really uncomfortable the entire way through. Kind of reminds me of Piedmon a little bit from Digimon, but that's it. Blacephalon. So, again, let me know. Tekking's Buggy team being Galarian Mr. Mime, Copperajah, Brioni, Alolan Marowak, Oricorio, and Arceus, which is probably going to get him the win, or Pokeboy's team of Mr. Mime, Mr. Rhyme, Goldango, Primarina, Hooper, or Hooper Unbound, depending on how Buggy wants to play it, and the Ultra Beast Blacephalon. Guys, that is the video. I've been wanting to do this one for about a month since Tekking put this video out. Not just because I love Pokemon and One Piece, because I love Tekking again. He's my favorite content creator. I constantly watch his videos. His insights into One Piece are amazing. Yeah, that's it, guys. Have a great day. Bye.